What is up, YouTube? That's here, bringing you my first games from top 8 of the Premier Challenge I recently top cut at. This is the team featuring Zoroark, but we already know that Zoroark isn't a great matchup against Omari Travis, otherwise known as Bad in 10th, person who stomped me in round 3. We're going to be going with Kang, Milotic, Tyranitar, and Aegislash. I felt that I probably could have taken his team if I tried to play Standard, and this is a best of 3. So for the first game, we're just going to play Standard. We're going to go up against Zapdos, Landorus, Kangaskhan, Volcarona, and I think if I just sit back on my Milotic, if I can take out the Zapdos, I pretty much just win the game. So without further ado, we're going to start off game 1, get right into it, and showcase my first games from top 8 going up against Bad Intent. So there he is, he's issuing the challenge, and right off the bat we see Zapdos Landorus, and potential for EQ, and it would be really funny to see Discharge, because like EQ Discharge, old school bread and butter AoE, and it's great against my two Pokemon on the board, but the Intimidate is going to activate my competitive, so if I can sit on my Milotic long enough, if I can get the Zapdos off the board, I feel I have a good shot at winning the game. So that's my game plan. I'm obviously going to go Mega here, game Principal Bond, let all my attacks hit twice, and I'm planning on taking the Zapdos off the board at any cost, even if he takes my King off the board. So we start off just by going for a hard Fake Out. We are intimidated here, but it's still going to do a decent amount. Note how much that did. It really means that the Zapdos is most likely heavily invested in the speed stats. We also see EQ come out from the Landorus, and I shouldn't say speed, I should say like special attack. The Zapdos is heavily invested in the special attack, probably not speed, but it is going to let my Milotic get a +2 Ice Beam off onto that slot, and like I said, take out the Zapdos, win the game. Zapdos is the only Pokemon he really has that really threatens my Milotic at all. Now I'm sitting pretty with a +2, he sends his King out, and it's at this point that, like I said, Zapdos is off the board. My King is going to be faster than his King, but it's going to be weaker because I've been intimidated. So I'm assuming his Landorus is choiced. I really have no idea. I saw that it was faster than his Zapdos. I saw his Zapdos was relatively squishy. I'm assuming his Landorus was choiced. I assumed wrong. It was just mostly probably full speed on the Landorus, and Zapdos was probably full special attack. So now we know that going for the next couple of games, he goes for a superpower, picks up the KO on Kang. It's really not that big a deal, as he goes for a double edge on my Milotic, who protected that turn. So we're going to bring Aegislash on the board. Aegislash is great against these two Pokemon, especially because the Landorus already lowered his attack stat using superpower last turn. So Volcarona is going to come switch in here, using the Fire-type Volcarona to switch in on my Milotic. Not the best idea. We already know that the Landorus is pretty much useless because he lowered his attack and defensive stats, so we're going to take the Volcarona, which was originally the Kangaskhan slot, out, and get a free Shadow Ball off onto the, sorry, a Flash Cannon, not Shadow, Flash Cannon off onto the Landorus slot. It's always better to use Flash Cannon in these situations when there's potentially normal types that can switch in. So his last Pokemon going to be coming in, Kangaskhan, and he just goes for a hard knockoff with the Landorus. On my offensive stance, Aegislash, not going to pick up the KO because he already lowered his attack. So Aegislash is going to actually get to activate its weakness policy before it actually gets knocked off. I think it's really cool how that item works in that regard. As we see the double edge come out from the Kangaskhan, not going to be able to take up my Milotic, even though I had already taken about 20%. It's going to activate my Citrus Berry, leave me relatively healthy even after the second hit, and this game is pretty much over from here. He takes heavy recoil on Kang. Scald is going to be enough to take out the Kangaskhan here. Note that that's pretty important. Oh, I also got a crit, yeah. Critical hit Scald, pretty good. I don't really think I needed it though. I know his Kang is heavily invested in speed, and Flash Cannon should be enough to take out the Landorus, giving me a Game 1 victory. So we showed that I can play Standard. If I get his Zapdos off the board, he has nothing for my Milotic. So that is going to be Game 1. Let me go add the code for Game 2. Game 2 is going to be full of surprises. The way I like to play best of 3s is if I can win the first one, I go completely crazy and just try to super gimmick my opponent in Game 2. Because if I can save my gimmick through Game 1 without reviewing it, in this game it's going to be Zoroark, I can pretty much just win the game with my gimmick in Game 2 and then try it again in Game 3 if I have to. So we're going to search for this battle code here. Hopefully it's the correct one. Hopefully I input that correctly. Yeah, this is going to be Game 2. Looks like we're winning Zoroark, and we're doing something that is a little bit dangerous. We're disguising Zoroark as Kangaskhan. They have like the same weaknesses, but normally he would expect like a Fake Out like I've been doing the past 2 games that we've played. I mean, I've led Kangaskhan, and he's always guessed the wrong Pokemon to be Zoroark. So we see Zoroark, Talonflame, Aegislash, and Kang. versus Kang, Volcarona, Zapdos, and Landorus. So we're switching things up. I'm switching up my leads. He's putting his leads from last game in the back. So we're going to start this up, get right into game 2 versus Bad Intent from, where is this? This is Fremont. This is the Fremont top cut. That's where this Premier Challenge was. So Kangaskhan Volcarona, pretty good. He has potential for Rage Powders. He has potential for Quiver Dances. Just a great overall lead with Kang. And it's not that great against Talonflame. He doesn't even know if it's a Talonflame, which is the best part. So he knows that his Kang's better versus my Kang, and I completely baited him into this lead. He switches his Volcarona out for his Landorus here, and what's also really cool is that Zoroark is faster than Kangaskhan in almost every regard. So even if his Kang is full speed, it's not faster than my Zoroark ever. So unless he's going for a fake out, which he has no reason to, I can just Brave Bird what was the Volcarona slot and go for a huge Focus Blast with my Kangaskhan, or sorry, with my Zoroark on his Kangaskhan. I completely baited him into doing this by going for the first 2 games, like completely playing it. I knew he would lead his Kang because his Kang is great against mine. Baited it, even brought the Landorus switch in, so he's gonna lose his Kang turn 1. I'm really ahead right now. Also note that his Landorus, I don't know if it's choice or it's not choice, but it doesn't have Protect. He can't really switch his Landorus out for a Volcarona, so his Landorus is going to go down to Talonflame this turn as well. So we see Brave Bird obviously coming in. It's going to do over half just like it did last turn. I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but I'm using a banded Talonflame. I have been all tournament. It's going to take out the Landorus, and Zapdos is free to do whatever it wants this turn. I was expecting a Thunderbolt onto my Talonflame, but he actually does have the Discharge. So we talked about it last game, but Discharge from Zapdos going to take out Talonflame. I was actually relatively surprised because my Talonflame is really bulky. Even though it's holding a band, it's like full HP and a little bit in specialty. Anyways, we still have the Pokemon Lead. These are his last 2, Volcarona Zapdos versus Aegislash, and I don't know, is it Kangaskhan? We're going to see this turn. Yeah, it's Zoroark. So Zoroark's going to pop a big Night Daze off onto that Volcarona slot. Don't know if it's stashed. Don't want to let it set up. I know if I take out Volcarona, I can win with my Kangaskhan because Volcarona is a bit of a problem. So he gets a Quiver Dance off. That's definitely threatening as he goes for a Thunderbolt hard nuke. We already know that one-shots Zoroark, so sadly Zoroark is going to go away. I probably just should have brought Kang out that turn. I could have just double-edged the Zapdos and probably won the game right there, but it's okay. We still have Kangaskhan. We can still do that if we want to. All we gotta do is pretty much get Volcarona off the board and we should be able to win. So I'm gonna go Mega. Bam, there we go. Getting the Parental Bond. Finally Kangaskhan comes out. It's a bit late in the game for this, but it's okay. Fake Out's gonna come onto the Zapdos slot. Always gotta take that Zapdos off the board, and we're just hoping the Aegislash can live through like an overheat or something. He decides to go for Flamethrower instead, but instead of targeting Aegislash, he targets Kang. He actually picks up the 10% chance burn. So I'm feeling like I can't believe I'm going to throw this game. I just revealed my whole gimmick plan to take him out. If I don't take out Volcarona here, I'm going to lose probably the whole set. But Shadow Ball is enough to take out Volcarona even through the Quiver Dance, and I have a now burned Kang and an Aegislash versus a Zapdos. I can't protect King Shield because then I'll tick down from burn. So we're just going to eat the Discharge in the face. If I had Sucker Punch, I would have for sure used it. We already know that I'm using Crunch instead. Luckily, he doesn't paralyze my Aegislash as I get a Shadow Ball off on Zapdos. And it's actually not going to KO, so it's going to be super close. These are our last Pokemon. I King Shield just because I know he's probably just going to go for start Thunderbolting here. He might try to go for Discharges just to get Paras, but he's probably just going to try and Thunderbolt and try to finish it off. This is a full HP, full Special D with Nature Aegislash. So I try and eat the Thunderbolt. I live with 9 HP. And I'm going to stance into offensive stance and pick up a KO with a Shadow Ball, picking up the 2-0 on Omari Travis, which is definitely a bit of redemption because he took me out. He made me look like a fool in round 3. So pretty good games, and it's going to let me go into top 4 of this tournament. I just feel like I've played really well. Zoroark, a Pokemon that definitely deserves more play, and it let me really show some really cool stuff in a best-of-3 format. Like, first game, he assumed that I had it. He actually went for a superpower on my Aegislash in the first game today. If you actually rewind a bit and watch that, he went for a superpower on my Aegislash, expecting it to be Zoroark. And in our round 3 game, he went for a double edge on my Aegislash, expecting it to be Zoroark. So Zoroark putting in work, definitely the Pokemon that got me top cut. Maybe Kang did a little bit more work, but Zoroark making plays. winning games. So hope you guys like this game. My next game is going to be up against Chris Liu, and it's going to be top 4. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.